Hi, so in my last video I went into a bit of detail about my big plans for setting up an Airbnb within an annex in my house. The day after loading that video I phoned the insurance company that I had a quote from online and I found out that they would not insure us. So because we've had a few claims on this house, we cannot get insured for the Airbnb that I wanted to set up. So I was really gutted last week. I was really upset. I think because I had done so much research and I'd really got my hopes up, and I just loved the idea of having this income stream and this little project, and you know, it would be something that, even though it wasn't guaranteed income, but it would be something that would keep me busy while I'm on my career break, and it would keep me going so that I wouldn't have to return to work. And it was also, I thought, oh, if I can bring in this money I can afford to pay for coaching and for bodybuilding expenses, because it's a hobby that I really love, but it's expensive. So I was really upset last week. I felt like a failure. It's because there's been so many little failures this year. And it just really knocked my confidence. Things like, we had an offer accepted on a buy-to-let and couldn't get a mortgage, and then we had an offer accepted on a HMO, and then sort of realised the figures didn't really stack up on that and it wasn't profitable. And I tried virtual assistance work and that didn't really work out. And there's just been so many things that I've sort of tried and failed on. And I'm quite a sensitive person. I do need to work on my personal resilience. And I think it's the fact I told people on YouTube, I told friends and family, I told a lot of people about my plans, and this has happened, for all the other things that didn't work out as well. So it was just quite disappointing. But I'm over it now. I've had my pity party, and like I said in the last video, I want to look at other projects. It does leave you feeling like insurance is a total scam. So we had 3 claims on this property in the last few years. 2 of them were small ones, which were drainage related issues, and in hindsight we should have just paid for that out of our savings instead of claiming on the insurance. But at the time you think, this is what insurance is for, I'm going to claim on it, this is what I pay insurance for, so let's claim. But what we weren't expecting was we got burgled. We went on holiday to Ireland, visiting my family, and when we came back we realised we'd been burgled. Someone had sort of smashed in the back door. Someone had removed the panel on the UPVC door just to let themselves in, had a quick rummage through the house, stole majority of my jewellery, Jack's PS5, a BB gun, and then obviously just the damage to the door to get that replaced and get locks replaced. So that was really upsetting. And I like to tell people, only because review your security systems at home. Don't do what we did. So we lived in a city for over a decade, and we never had any issues. So I think when we moved to the countryside we were a little bit naive, just because we'd never been burgled before. So now we do things differently. Our doors are more solid. We lock inner doors as well. We have security systems, burglar alarm systems. We have cameras inside and outside the property. They alert our phones. Some are mains powered, some are battery powered. We always think about, power failures. And I think most importantly, we tell our neighbours now, we tell family and we tell our neighbours when we go away. And we always make sure someone is keeping an eye on the property. We use things like timers on lights and on curtains, so it looks like there's someone in, or you couldn't really tell if someone's in or not, that way. I've gone off on a tangent, but I think it's important. You just don't think these things will happen to you. I'm also quite wary about having cash in the house, so we had holiday money stolen. It wasn't secured very well, obviously. It was in a drawer. We weren't insured for very much cash, and I'm conscious that a lot of preppers keep cash within their home, within their property. So I'm quite reluctant to keep a lot of cash in this house, just because of our experience, but I do understand the importance of having cash available. So it's a bit of a funny one. I'd be interested to know other people's thoughts on keeping cash in your house, or maybe you hide it, secure it somewhere else. Well, I'd be really interested. It's these insurance claims which have gone against us, so a little bit bitter that insurance is a total scam, but also, you know, this clearly wasn't meant to be, like all the other things I've sort of tried this year. I'll be honest, I'm a bit lost now, like what should I be doing? I started to think, well actually, maybe I should focus on my passions and my interests rather than chasing the money. 2023 has had its disappointments and its upset. There's been a lot of lessons learned, and I try not to have regrets. I do have some regrets this year. I think trusting people too easily is one. Thinking people were my friends when they're not. Yeah, I do trust people far too easily. And I can't help it, I am an open book and I just openly tell people my feelings and my thoughts, but not everyone is your friend. I guess I've realised that. And things have knocked my confidence this year big time, so I'm working on personal resilience. This career break this year has not been what I thought it was going to be. If I think about it too much, you can get a bit down, because I kind of thought I'd be more successful, but it's not all bad. There have been positives. I have set up a IT consultancy company with my partner. He's the IT consultant and I do everything else. And I've been to a lot of business courses in my local area, which are funded by the council, which is really good. I've learnt lots through that. I've had a lot of reading time. I read the Little House on the Prairie series, which I really recommend. It's quite eye-opening actually. I know a lot of people talk about the book The Long Winter by Laura Ingalls Wilder, and that was quite eye-opening. The details she goes into of like the monotony of eating the same food every day, because there's no access to anything else, and the sort of severity of like hunger and the importance of shelter and heat and food security was really eye-opening, really good book. Other positives from this year have been, I guess, setting up this YouTube channel. Not really what I ever thought I would do, but I think it's made me realise how much I enjoy creating. So I enjoy creating like Instagram content. Weirdly, I enjoy video editing, and I didn't think I would, but it's just putting something together and completing it and publishing it, and that sense of satisfaction from it, which is really nice. What next? The upside is we're going to have a really nice room just to enjoy for ourselves. So I'm now thinking just a nice sort of chill out room. I'm very keen to get a rocking chair because I don't know, I just quite like rocking chairs. I find like rocking quite comforting, and maybe a nice wingback chair for my partner. Just a room that we can sit in, we can read, listen to music, or just watch the fire, maybe play board games or something. And it's a large room, so I do have a bamboo screen which I can use to maybe break the space up. And I don't know, we could put a desk in there, or who knows. I mean, in general I'm thinking like, right, what's the next project? I'm quite a goal-driven person. Like, I need a project, I need something to focus on, and I think that's maybe why I got so upset last week, is that I sort of pinned my hopes on this project, and for it all to go by the wayside was just so upsetting and disappointing. But I just feel so much happier when I've got something to work on. So this week I'll be finishing the painting in the annex. I've got touch-ups to do, skirting to paint, I've got the bathroom floor to paint, and I think the door as well, back of the door. I've got, it needs a bit of a clean because the floor got laid last weekend and it's a bit mucky in there. I've got the tiles in the utility to paint, and what was the kitchen is now the utility. So there's plenty to keep me busy over the next week or two. I'm going to be looking at furniture. I'd quite like to go to some second-hand shops and some antique stores and maybe just some nice pieces, like a nice record table or a nice table for the record player. You know, I've got lists to make. You know, I do want to make a prepper list, or, you know, breaking down all the sort of different elements of prepping that I need to look at, so then I can go through it bit by bit. I've got 2024 garden planning to do. I sort of feel like the things that I plan tend not to work out. That's what's happened this year. So I might try to keep the plans loose. It's a good guide. It's guidelines, isn't it? And in terms of finances, you know, my partner and I have discussed it. The goal was to never return to work after the career break ends. It's due to end next spring, so the choice will be, I have to either apply for another job, that was part of the terms of the career break. I either would apply for another job, or I hand my notice in and I'm self-employed, or I find income in other ways. I feel the pressure a little bit, but that's just me. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm just that sort of person. I have quite high expectations of myself. I want to do well, whatever that might be. Thank you for sticking with me, and let's see what the future holds. I'd be so grateful if you could hit the subscribe button and like this video. It really helps me out. Thank you so much. See you on the next one.